jeez. This is why trolls invented bridges, so people who look like me can stay under them, away from society. If you couldn't tell, I just woke up because I have that raspy voice, which I know, I worked for it. Nah, I'm just kidding. I did wake up though. I woke up this morning. I was like, oh fuck. I didn't throw a video out. If anyone wants to take some lessons on how to procrastinate, just come to me. I got you, girl. Bro, I got you. I procrastinate with life. So, this is my procrastination video for you guys. Today, I have decided I was going to talk about how much I hate the specimen of men and the amount of audacity that they have while I put on my makeup, because why not? 2 disclaimers. Not all men are trash. I will say that. We have BTS in our life. We have Ben Barnes in our life, which, please go watch Shadow and Bone. Oh my gosh, this show is so good. And the second disclaimer is, please don't come after me when it comes to my makeup. I am trying, okay? I am not a makeup guru. I don't know how to make up. I just throw it on there to make me look more human and less trollish. So, let's get into it. Somebody recently asked me, like, Sophia, how safe is Korea for foreign women? I was like, compared to the States where I'm from, it's pretty fucking safe, you know? Like, I really feel very safe, and I'm really dreading moving back to the States and having to deal with asshole men who think it's funny and cute to follow women and catcall them. That's what women have to deal with, you know? In regards to Korea, it's pretty safe for me. Like, I feel very safe. But there have been a few times where I've had moments of like, wow, it feels like I'm back home again. Thanks for the reminder. So today I have a few creeper stories in Korea, and I was like, you know what? It would be fun to share this because I enjoy it. It's so weird, but like, I really do enjoy watching other fellow female YouTubers talking about their creepy time stories, because 1, it doesn't make me feel alone, and 2, they actually have some good tips on how to avoid certain situations. So it's always good to watch those and then be like, ah, okay, this is what I'll do next time to avoid the situation, right? I prepped my face. One of my first encounters that I had was I was taking a hike. This is 5 o'clock in the afternoon in broad daylight. This was about a year ago. I was taking this hike, and I noticed this one guy was following me on his bike, and he's probably my age. I was just like, I see you. Boy, I see you. Don't think for a second that I don't see you, because I see you following me on that bike. So this mountain that I was walking on, it was connected to like this pier by the sea, and so we were on this ramp thing, and he like pulled up, and he was just like, hey, do you speak English? I was just like, shit. I was like, yes, I do. Can I help you? And he's like, oh, you're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. I speak a little English too, which his English is really good, I have to admit. Like, yeah, you do. Like, good for you, sir. What can I help you with? He's like,
can I get your number?
And I was like, no, I'm okay. I don't need your number. And he's like, oh no, let's just be friends. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm okay. Thank you though.
Oh, I just want to practice my English.
And I'm like, well, I'm not comfortable giving you my number. Now, I'm trying to be as nice as possible, and maybe this guy was just trying to be nice and getting my number. I was very adamant though. I was like, no. I know what, like, you've been following me the past 10 minutes.
Fuck off!
And then he was like, no, like, okay, fine, like, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, not that it's any of your business, but like, no. And he kind of laughs it off, and he's like, well, implying like, I could be your boyfriend, like, you need someone to show you around. You're new here, right? And I was just like, no, I've been here for a little bit. I didn't want to like tell him, yeah, I'm new, because then he's like, fresh meat, you know? If I had said like, oh, yeah, I've lived here for a while, then he'll probably leave me alone, right? No, that didn't fucking happen. So this guy, like, he's still following me and asking for my number, and I'm like, dude, get the hint. I said no.
Bruh.
I said no. And then my form of escape was the path up the mountain, and I was like, dude, you're on a bike, you can't follow me. Like, there's no way you're gonna follow me up a mountain with a bike, right? You know, once he sees me hiking up the mountain, you know, he'll give up, right?
I'm a clown.
Literally 10 minutes into this hike, a part of me was like, look behind you. What? And I was like, look behind you. And I look behind me, and this man is literally on his phone 10 paces behind me. He's just following me, and I was like, this is brilliant. This is what I needed. I had to cut my trip short because this guy kept following me, and at one point I picked up my pace to the point where I was like pretty much running, and I looked behind me, and this guy is literally jogging to keep up with me. He's still on his phone, and at this point I'm pissed. I'm freaking out. I can't really confront him because one, he's so much bigger than me, and two, I'm alone in the woods. Like,
Why?
like, yeah, not a good idea. So I called my friend and I FaceTimed her, and I was like, Nuri, this person is following me. Just letting you know, if you don't hear from me, this is probably what's happened, you know. After I hung up with her and I get to the bottom of the mountain, I saw a group of 2 couples. Nobody else was around me, and this was the only people I saw since this whole mountain scare, if you want to call it that. I was like, I'm not taking chances. So I ran up to them and I was like, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I don't speak Korean. Like, do you speak English? Blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, what's wrong? Like, can we help you? And I was like, this guy has been following me for the past, 20 minutes. He won't leave me alone. And then, like, lo and behold, you turn around and he's right there, still on his phone, but he's like 15-20 paces behind me. And the couples were so sweet. The girls grabbed me and they're like, yeah, you can walk with us. And then the guys, they turned around and they were like literally telling him to leave. They're like, leave. They walked me, they found a taxi, and they gave the directions to the taxi man, and they're like, we're sorry this happened. So yeah, that was my first story, a creepy encounter here in Korea. My second encounter was actually kind of scary, and like, not gonna lie, I was like, why men, why? This time it was with my good friend of mine, and we were at a McDonald's. We have a McDonald's here, and it was a Sunday. I don't remember much of it now that I'm thinking about it, because it's been like a year ago. I remember there was this group of foreigners, and it's always the foreigners, right? Please don't judge me what I'm about to do. I'm trying to contour, and I work with what I have because I'm a broke bitch. So I see you judging. I don't blame you. Anyways, we're at this McDonald's and we're eating, and then I noticed this group of foreigners. These guys, they were sitting there for 30 minutes, and like the majority of them, they're done eating and they were just sitting talking. The entire time that they were sitting and talking, they were literally looking at us. I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, great. You're probably wondering like, why are you making this such a big deal? Maybe they were just looking at the wall behind you. Like, why are you acting like, oh, the world is like out to get you?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
First of all, I don't know. Second of all, it's easy to have these kind of thoughts when you're a foreigner in a new country, and especially that you're new to and you don't really understand how it all works. You're 2 small women, and you've had these kinds of experiences before. So it's hard not to think that in that moment when people are looking at you in a very inappropriate manner, it's hard not to like be very tense and guarded and jaded about it. They could be the nicest people ever. There are ways of interacting with someone instead of just creepily looking at you with perversion behind your eyes. Like, you can just tell. I think all my fellow women, all my fellow ladies out there know what I'm talking about. We're like 20 minutes into our meal, and this guy, like 3 of them that have been looking at us, they get up and they leave. And I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. Wouldn't you want to wait for your friends, Like, maybe they're just going out to smoke, right? 10 minutes later, the guys that left, one of them came back in. He sat back down, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe they were smoking. And he starts to look at us again. I was just sitting there being like, fuck me. So we go up to the bathroom, and then this guy stopped us, and then he was just like, the same guy that had left and had come back and was staring at us, he had come back. He looked just at my friend, not at me. I was sitting right next to my friend, and he was like, do you speak English? Yeah, we do, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I dropped my keys in a grate.
Pia editing over here. I realized I never really finished my train of thought or the rest of the story about him, the card keys. So essentially, my friend and I were going to go to the bathroom, and then he came and he was like, he told us like, hey, do you speak English, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, I dropped my keys out in the car, great. Can you, and he was like pointing at my friend, like, can you come out and like grab them because you have very skinny arms and you can like reach in and grab it. It was so weird because keep in mind, like, she is very, like, my friend is smaller than me, but we're like the same size, like we're built the same pretty much. And so like our wrists are very similar. I literally was like pulling up my sleeve, I was like, I'm not skinny arms too, like, bitch, don't leave me out. I feel so left out right now, you know, because the world's about me, right? He was staring intently at my friend, and at this point I was just so over it. And then I was like, what do you want, you know? So essentially that's what like one of my red flags went off, because he kept asking us to come out, or mainly asking my friend to come out to grab the keys. Because if you actually look at the grates outside by the cars at the McDonald's that we were, like, you really had to lose your keys, like you really had to put in the effort of losing your keys, like because the grates were actually quite small. So I don't know, he might have, I will say he might have honestly lost his keys. But when you're two small women in a foreign place, in a new situation, in this kind of a situation, and like sketchy people are coming up to you, and then you don't know where the rest of his friends are, you're just kind of like, that's suspicious, you know? Immediately, all the red flags that I was trying to keep down all popped up. And that's when I was like, no, we need to go. Okay, well, we can come, but let us wash our hands first, you know? Which I thought was very smart on her part, because it's like, you know, she was trying to give us time. This McDonald's that we're at was 2 floors, and the bathroom's on the 2nd floor. We get to the 2nd floor, I look out the window, I see a guy by the van, and then I see a guy, the same guy, on the phone, and he was standing right by the door. I've watched enough serial killer kidnapping movies. I've listened to enough of those podcasts. No sir, no. I called my dad. I'm freaking out. This is like 5 in the morning for him. I'm like, Dad, did I hear from you about me kidnapped? He's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, so this happened. And he was like, okay, there's nothing I can do but go down, talk to the McDonald's people to like kick them out. Don't leave until you see them leaving. When you leave, go a different route home so you don't get followed. All that stuff. My friend was super calm about this, but I'm over here being like, I will fuck someone up. So yeah, second creepy encounter story. Way I have so many stories about, you know, certain situations is just, and like some of these aren't even that big of a deal, but at the same time, when you pile all these situations up one after the other, it just gets so exhausting and overwhelming and just honestly irritating, to the point it's like, why do men exist besides procreating and having audacity? The interesting thing is, it's not the Korean men that I'm like worried about or scared about. They don't even give a shit. They don't look my way, except for the old ajishis. It's usually the foreign men. Anywhere I've been, it's always a foreign men. Recently, I went to a nearby town to try to find some shoes, because the shoes I was looking for, I don't have them in my city. My day was going good so far. It was such a beautiful day. The town that I was in, I was at a shoe store, and keep in mind the shoe store is huge and the doors are all open, so you can see everyone walking past and everyone can see you. So I am trying on shoes, and the guy didn't have my shoe size, so he went in the back to go find it. And so I'm just kind of like with one shoe untied. I'm standing close to the door. I just happened to look out. My eyes meet a group of other people's eyes. And you know how sometimes where like some people just stare or like make eye contact unintentionally? That's what happened. I just literally looked up and then our eyes locked, right? I kept looking because it's like, it didn't really register in my mind. Like, why am I locking eyes with this person? You know, and I look up, a foreigner man and his 3 other dude friends, you know. When we locked eyes, he kind of like, is it too late now to say sorry? And then that's when I went, oh shit, you know, like, dang, he's looking now. And then this man points to me and he starts saying, hey girl. He breaks out into Russian. For those who don't know, I am Russian. I know a little Russian. So if you're that person that's like,
How do you know he was Russian? You're just stereotyping.
bitch, I'm not stereotyping. I know Russian. I know what he was saying. He was like, hey, привет, which is like, hey, hi, you know, and I was like,
Fuck off!
Then he switches back to English. He's like, girl, I'm talking to you. Keep in mind, he's shouting this outside the frickin' door. And I was like, get the memo, sir. I'm not interested. He waltzes in with his 3 other friends. And that's when I was like, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That's when I start moving. That's when I was like, because if I stand still, he's gonna come up to me and then he's going to start asking, like, he's just, I know how this is gonna happen because it's happened before, you know? It's like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? So I just start walking around the store waiting for my shoe guy to come back, who, by the way, was very sweet. If it gets that bad, I will probably need to dash. So I tied my shoe and I stood by the door and I'm still waiting for my shoe guy because I didn't want to disappear on him because of these creeps. And then not 5 seconds later, I hear this guy was like,
Hey, I'm talking to you.
and I'm like trying to ignore him so badly. So this guy with his friends are just hanging around and they're like,
You're so beautiful, you're so pretty.
do you speak English? And then he's like switched to Russian and then he switched back to English. I'm trying to ignore him and then he's like, I know you're listening. And that's when I looked at them. And I was like, what?
I just think you're pretty. Can I get your number?
And I was like, no, you can't. It's like, why? You have a boyfriend? And I said, no, it's none of your business. At this point, I'm fuming. I'm fucking angry. Keep in mind, I am by myself. I didn't go with any friends. I'm by myself. The situation's like, I'm so pissed. I'm so angry and I'm scared. I am so scared. If anything, I am feeling extremely terrified. And so I was telling this guy, like, no, you can't have my phone number. Thank you. Bye-bye. He would not stop. Like, this man was so persistent. I was like, dude, do you not know what no means? And he was seriously giving off kidnapper vibes. And I'm saying that nicely. I could say the other word, but I don't want to like get this video taken down. But like, he was literally so creepy. And you know how sometimes you can feel vibes from someone? I felt really bad vibes from this person. Like, please leave me alone. I literally started walking around the store again. And this time I pull out my AirPods and I'm like, I don't care if they're dead, as long as like if I have them on, that'll be even more of a sign to fucking leave me alone, because apparently no isn't working and going away, like go away isn't working. Like, bitch, the fuck. Like, I was so angry. Oh, I'm still angry about this. Finally, my shoe guy came. I think he noticed the problem because they kept coming up and then they kept looking at me, and then the shoes guy was like, can I help you? And like, oh no, we're good. Again, he didn't have my shoe size, and so he's like, okay, I gotta go back. And I was like, don't leave me. At this point, I was like, it's okay, bro, it's fine. He's gone. These guys again come back up to me, and at this point, they're not talking to me, they're just loitering around, looking at me in a very creepy ass manner, trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? Stalling isn't gonna work. These guys are persistent. These guys are going to follow me. So when my shoe guy came back out, and then as he's helping me with my shoe, I bend down and I'm like, these guys keep following me, can you help me? And he's like, those guys. And I was like, yeah, those guys keep bothering me. And this man's like, okay. So he goes up and he's like, can I help you, to them? And I didn't hear the rest of the conversation, but eventually they left. And at this point, I was like, thank you. So they left, and I decided I was gonna hang out at the store for another 5 minutes or so, because I didn't want to like leave right away. Because what happened, like in my mind, like if I leave right away, they could be loitering outside the store and they'll just follow me from there. So I'm gonna just wait all the way in the back here for another good 5-10 minutes, and then I'll leave. So I leave the store. Across the street, I see these 4 guys just walk out of the store, and I was like, oh fuck, like, come on, like, dude, I just want to shop, like, and so I fucking book it, and then I look behind me, and these 4 guys, keep in mind, these 4 big old dudes are just following me, and I'm weaving in and out of stores, I'm weaving in and out of the streets, and they're still following me. At this point, I am like scared shitless, because I'm like, this is where I get fucking kidnapped in broad daylight. I'm laughing and smiling because I'm in pain. I was popping into H&M, I was popping into Spa, I was popping into boutique stores. Stores that like were geared for women, and they would like literally pop in right after me. And I'm like, oh my god. The audacity that these men have. So I finally was like, okay, enough is enough. So I turn around and I stare them down. I was like, I know you're following me. Because like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, running from them isn't working. I was to the point where I was about to start barking at them and go batshit crazy because they would not leave me alone. Keep in mind, they've been following me for like at least 10-15 minutes. They were following me. I waltzed into a store and I pretty much just hide. And I was in that store for 20 minutes. And the store had like 3 floors, and I was up on floors where I could have a good look and advantage of like the people. And as I was going through there, just the whole thought process of like, I just wasted pretty much all my happiness on this trip to avoid these guys. And I get to the other store and I see that they're there. I see that they're just hanging out across the street waiting for me to pop out, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't think they realized I was in a different store now looking and watching, and eventually they left. And I was in there for a good 10 minutes because I was like, these motherfuckers. Gotta give it to them. They're relentless. They finally left, and I was just so angry and so upset that I just went home. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I was having a good morning, good day, and then these assholes came and ruined. So that's my 3rd creepy story, and this is where I'm gonna leave the video because I do have to go to work. If you're someone who wants to come live in Korea, just keep in mind this is gonna happen. But when you do come, just please be safe. And for my fellow women who are living in Korea, also please stay safe. Thank you for watching. This video was trash, but I did it. I mean, you know, it could be worse. It could be worse.
What you say?
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Be kind to yourselves, go hug a llama, scream into the void, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.